Had Randy Gordon lived, he would have celebrated his 18th birthday last month, and he would be graduating tonight, but his seat will not be empty. His mother will be there in his place.
And these were done in February.
Randy Gordon's graduation cap and gown were ordered back in February, as were the class of 2000 pins. The commencement announcements were also ordered, but never sent. Randy's mother, Mary, relives the pain of her son's death as she prepares to sit in his place during Santana High School's graduation.
It's hard to describe how I feel. Besides being nervous, it's such a bittersweet thing, you know, that I'm going to get his diploma for him when every ounce of me wishes he was here to receive it himself.
It's been more than 3 months since the shooting rampage that claimed the life of 17-year-old Randy and 14-year-old Brian Zucker. Dozens of others were also injured. It was an event that once again focused the national spotlight on school violence and robbed this mother of her son and final words of love.
I would have liked to have been there. I would have liked this to have never happened. He was ripped away from us. I didn't get to touch him or anything and tell him goodbye. And that's been real difficult, you know, to deal with.
Surrounded by photos of his short life and state tributes to Randy, Mary Gordon Rayborn tries to get on with her life, but it's hard.
You don't have a choice when you lose a child to really move on. In some ways it seems unfair, but you can't really go back and change anything. Even all the wishes and all the praying that you can do can't change anything.
In an odd twist, Mary also attended Santana High School, but she never graduated. She became pregnant with Randy and had to drop out, which makes accepting his diploma more painful.
He meant so much to all of us, and he meant a lot to me. And the fact that he's gone now, it just leaves such a big open hole that I think it's just going to take a long time to even just learn to live with that.
A little boy from Mexico and his family have lots to be thankful for. The 5-year-old got the gift of sight this weekend thanks to the great work of some San Diego doctors.
Vamos a trasplantar una córnea.
Meet Cuauhtémoc. He's only 5 years old, but like his Aztec name implies, he's brave beyond his years.
Aquí a mi oído, por favor.
He was born with a rare disease that left him blind in his right eye, and now he's about to get a cornea transplant.
He has a congenital malformation where the cornea, which is the glassy cap on the front of the eye, makes the cornea go cloudy.
Okay.
So that's basically what I'm looking at.
But that's only part of the story.
He tugs at your heart and wanted to be able, salud! Wanted to be able to do something to help him see.
Cuauhtémoc lives in Mexico and is getting the surgery for free. Everyone involved here at Sharps Cabrillo Hospital has volunteered their time and expertise. Dr. Tim Mendez from UCSD first discovered his case.
I'm so grateful, especially this young fellow, young kid, to be part of that. And I know for sure he will have a good life and future because of what we're doing.
Right.
What we
Without
offer.
this surgery, he could lose his eye entirely.
There's a Pokemon at large. Respire, and then you'll just slowly close your eyes and fall asleep. Okay? Here, now do a couple more practices. Okay.
The delicate procedure takes about 90 minutes. Essentially, Dr. Linebarger will cut out the diseased cornea
I'm going to mark the cornea.
and replace it with a donor. The instruments and sutures are so small, he uses a microscope for the entire surgery.
These first 4 sutures or so are the most important.
The sutures will be removed in 2 months, but tomorrow, if all goes as planned, Cuauhtémoc will be able to see out of his right eye for the first time in his life.
Well, it went very well. I was very pleased.
It'll be years before Cuauhtémoc can truly appreciate all that he's been given, but the important thing is that it was given to him now.
And there is some urgency to do it because you know, the window of opportunity begins to close here very quickly as he approaches the age of 7 or 8. There's a critical period of time where the connections between the eye and the brain form. No? Poquito, huh? So he says there's 1 finger there. That's good. ¿Y cuántos ahora?
2.
Oh, very good. So he says there's 2. He's never seen that before, ever.
Less than 24 hours later, Cuauhtemoc does see out of his right eye, something his mother says she never dreamed she'd see.
Okay.
Now, you might expect Mother's Day at an orphanage to be sad, but nothing could be farther from the truth at a very special home in Tijuana, and that is thanks to an incredible woman. That's Happy Mother's Day in Spanish, and while millions of children will spend the day celebrating their mothers, these children will not. They're orphans in Tijuana.
This one is not like orphanage. This is only big house, and you have a lot of kids. 60.
41 boys and 19 girls to be exact, and thanks to the goodness of this woman and her husband, they have a family. They have come to Casa Hogar Alfaro from streets on both sides of the border.
This one, she is U.S. citizen. This one, she born in the United States. And the mother is in the drugs.
Alicero has been here for 2.5 years. When he arrived, he was already doing drugs and stealing. The stories are endless.
It's because some kids, the mother is in the prostitution, or she left the kids and go use drugs. And some of the kids have somebody killed the dad, and things like that.
And much worse. Carmen believes divine intervention led these wounded children to her for healing.
Jesus make free these kids. That's why this kids is free. Like Paola, when she comes, she's not like this. She's sad, angry for everything, and now she's so happy, and she say, Mom, when I grow up, I'm help you, and I'm stay with you.
The children sleep 15 to a room. They eat together and share the chores. The older children take care of the little ones and attend class in a tiny makeshift elementary school. There's definitely no frills here, just the basics. While you might expect that to be a little bit depressing, the truth is you only have to be here for a minute to realize that this is a very happy place.
She's so happy because I have this place. Make happy when you see when the kids change. When you see the kids when coming is angry, because feel like to the life is only this kind of life.
The dreams are practical. Welders, mechanics, beauticians, and seamstress. For Carmen, the reward comes in trusting smiles, a group hug, and knowing she's made a difference.
Well, we're just searching for weapons or anything like that. That's it. Precautionary safety. Just routine.
Not what you'd expect to find outside a place of worship. Cars being searched for explosives.
Turn around. Open your hand. It's for your safety, nothing else.
Inside, a metal detector and pat-down, all bags thoroughly searched. The backlash against Arab Americans and Muslim Americans began immediately following Tuesday's attacks. Mosques were vandalized, veiled women the target of racial slurs. The same happening here in San Diego.
They called her bitches and other words, you know, and I cannot repeat those words, you know, because they are, you know, I can't imagine people saying that, you know, to other human beings.
Are you Arab or not? I didn't know what to say. If I say I am Arab, then I know I'm going to get hurt.
This sermon is no different than thousands going on across the country, condemning Tuesday's terrorist attacks and sending prayer and condolences to those who lost their lives.
Deeply, we are against this. We condemn this, like this, what's happened. We feel really sad.
This man wanted to make sure I understood the depth of his and his family's sadness. Again and again, people emphasized they are Muslims, but they are also Americans.
The American Muslim community here is having to deal with two types of feelings. First, the feeling of sorrow and the feeling of pain that all the American people are feeling because we are part of this community, and at the same time we're having to feel the pain of hate crimes that are coming against us.
There are 7 million practicing Muslims in the United States, but still it's a religion many do not understand, and that, says Mohammed Nassar, has got to change.
The best way to deal with it is education. We are trying to actually have some sort of an outreach program to all the community around us and to the public at large to show them what Islam is all about. Thank you so much.
And education seems to be working. This teacher brought flowers as a gesture of support and friendship in a time she says no one should feel alone.
I wanted to let the people here know that many of us do not feel angry with the Islam and Muslim people who are here. We need to learn to love each other. There is one God, and it doesn't matter if I'm Catholic and she is Islam, it doesn't matter. There's one God, and that's all, and we need to learn to understand.
Misha DiBono, KUSI News. Well, if you're nostalgic for the rock and roll of the 60s, there's a photography exhibit going on this weekend at the Del Mar Plaza that you will absolutely love. And if you're lucky enough to meet the photographer, be prepared to be transported back in time with his up-close and personal stories. Their music defined an era, their lifestyles a generation. Rock and roll icons of the 60s all captured on film by this man, Henry Diltz. You may not recognize his name, but you probably have seen his work.
This one here got used as the cover of Life magazine, sort of almost by accident.
An accident, or maybe fate. Diltz, who is also a musician, was friends with all these now famous rock stars, and photography, he says, was just a hobby.
I said, gee, this would be great for his album cover, so it got used for the album cover. And, you know, once again, it wasn't planned, it just kind of happened, you know. And, I mean, when I look at these, I see a whole bunch of friends of mine.
The Doors, Paul and Linda McCartney, Jerry Garcia, Joni Mitchell, Eric Clapton, and Jackson Browne, to name but a few.
This was the first day I met Jackson Browne. His record company president said, could you go up to this guy's house? And he started playing these amazing songs, you know. Oh, people, look around you, you know, and I just, oh my God, you know, so amazing. I could hardly take pictures, you know. So this gives me goose pimples, you know, just looking at that, because I remember what that moment was like.
Seeing the intimate photos of some of the most important artists of the 60s and 70s is incredible enough, but hearing the stories behind the photos is what makes Dilt's work so impressive.
Like this picture here is at Mama Cass's house. She had a picnic for Eric Clapton, who was new in town and didn't know anybody. And so at the picnic, David Crosby came, and he brought Joni Mitchell, who was someone he had just discovered and was working on her first album. This is Mama Cass's daughter chewing on one of my film cans.
A personal photographic collection that crosses all ages.
I'll say, a Morrison Hotel, and they go, dude, dude, you did Morrison Hotel? Oh my, hey, this guy did Morrison Hotel, you know? And it's like, oh, wow, you know?